A lot of people get killed off in movies, and I mean a lot. Think how many times you sit down to watch a film and just see peripheral characters get blown to shreds. It happens all the time. So much so, it becomes commonplace after a while. You don't even register it. This, however, does mean that if you're going to kill off someone of note, like Sean Bean, you better come up with a creative way to do it. You can't just shoot a Hollywood star, you gotta fire them out of a cannon into a row of spikes or something. There are a few tropes that films like to go back to time and time again though, and really, they don't show them for how bad they actually are. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is 5 gruesome movie deaths that are way worse than you think. Number 5, decapitation. Good old decapitation. A method of murder that is guaranteed to work 100% of the time. It's been a mainstay of movies for years. There was one in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Evil Dead 2, The Omen. Directors love slicing someone's head off their body. Unfortunately, while from a visual point of view we see a human being become 2 separate pieces, it is in fact a horrendous way to die. And I mean horrendous. Sure, it looks quick, but there's one sticking point to all of this, and that's your brain. The brain isn't damaged during a decapitation, unless the person doing the chopping is really, really bad at their job and just keeps smashing you in the brain. That's a rarity though, and there is a few seconds after you're torn in two that you can actually still appreciate this fact. Now, obviously no one knows the exact time you remain conscious of this, but I don't care. 0.2 of a second would be too much. Even being aware of that would be awful. And some people who are way smarter than me predict this could last up to 30 seconds, all things considered. I'd rather someone just stomped on my face and was done with it. Number 4, crushing walls. Star Wars: A New Hope. That's the first thing that came into your head, so let's just say it out loud and be done with it. There's a scene in the first Star Wars where the walls start closing in to crush Luke, Han, and Leia. It sucks. What no one ever takes into account is the pace of said walls. The slower they move, the worse it's going to be for whoever is stuck in there. Dying in this manner is so bad that people have used it for torture throughout history. Or in other words, they know there's a bit of crushing that can go on before you properly croak. That is not good. The French were big fans of this, naming their method Peine forte et dure, which is where they would lay heavier and heavier rocks on criminals until they cooperated or just got squished beyond repair. You're pretty much screwed either way though. Even if you suffer the slightest bit of flattening, this breakdown causes your body to release myoglobin, potassium, and phosphorus into your bloodstream. That basically means if C-3PO and R2-D2 had left it just a little bit longer, then the threesome probably would have collapsed from renal failure before escaping from the Death Star. And who knows what Darth Vader would have done with them. Number 3, burned alive. I mean, it's just shit, isn't it? Who wants to go that way? Think of the agony, the pain, the sheer fear. It's horrible, but it happens in movies, and it happens a lot. Blade, From Dusk Till Dawn. Hell, even Will Ferrell sets himself on fire in Old School. Just to give you some context as to the pain the comedian may have been in had this happened for real, the first thing your body does is signal that it's in way too much pain, and it does this to tell you to stop whatever it is you're doing. Then you'll notice you've lost the top layer of your skin. Now, this actually isn't that bad because it does mean most of your nerve endings will have burned away, relieving the pain somewhat. That does, of course, mean you'll have seen, heard, and smelled your own flesh burning. And if you have the mental capacity to deal with that, then more power to you. Finally, you die from hypovolemic shock, aka your blood has boiled itself away. Bags. Number 2, nuked. Kinda timely given who's running to be president at the moment. From the sounds of things, Donald Trump would love a good nuking, as would North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Movies are fans too. Indiana Jones gets involved again, then there's Wolverine, The Dark Knight Rises, Terminator. If you were ever forced to go through this yourself though, you'd want to be as close to the blast as possible. Not because you'd survive, but because that would definitely kill you off instantly, and when nuking is involved, you want to be killed off instantly. If you survive, sheesh, you're in for the worst day of your life. And when I say day, I mean week. And when I say week, I mean year. And when I say year, I mean you're utterly fucked. The radioactive fallout will continue to wipe people out for ages, so your only choices are die straight away, be burned really badly, or suffer from the worst sickness you can imagine. And that's just the headlines. Number 1, falling into lava. You don't want to fall into lava. I shouldn't have to tell you that, but on the off chance that's a dream of yours, rethink things now. Sure, you saw it happen in Lord of the Rings, Volcano, and, of course, Terminator, but you wouldn't enjoy it. It would be worse than the second Matrix movie. The key here is that lava is about 3 times more dense than that of a human, so while movies pretend you just sink in, you wouldn't. you'd kind of just flop across the surface. It's incredibly hot and painful surface. If you did manage to smash through that though, you'd come flying back up to the top of the lava as your vaporizing flesh made you skip across it like a skimming stone as you burned to death. Can't see Hollywood ever taking that one on anytime soon, but that is the fact. Know of any other ways that are horrible to die? That's a weird thing to say. Anyway, if you do, let us know in the comments below, and then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can then come follow me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm Simon from What Culture, and I'll chat to you again soon.